Hello, fellow creators. Welcome back to Monzon Media, where we talk about the production side of content creation with keeping your budget in mind. Now, if this is your first time here, I did drop a video a few days ago on Aperture. You may want to check that video out after this one. So first of all, what is shutter speed? So when you click the button of your camera, you're going to hear a little. And what's happening there is that the camera is releasing a curtain inside the camera. It's kind of like a door, if you may. Now, unlike Aperture, where the opening of the hole is within the lens, this curtain is within the camera. And that curtain opens up to let light into the sensor. And also, shutter speed isn't as complicated as Aperture, with the reverse thinking of big f-stop numbers, small f-stop numbers. Basically, with shutter speed, the higher the number, the faster that curtain opens, and the lower number means that the curtain opens a little bit slower. Now, the two main things with shutter speed is how much light it lets in, as I mentioned previously. So the lower the number, the more light it lets in, and the higher the number, the less light it lets in. Now, the second thing with shutter speed is the lower the number is, the more motion blur you can get from a moving object. And then with the high shutter speed, obviously it has less motion blur, so you could freeze things in motion. So some practical things to think about. You ever wonder how people get those nice, silky smooth waterfall images? Well, they're using a low shutter speed. Typically maybe 1/25th of a second or lower, 1/8, 1/4 of a second. And also, if you've ever seen those night photos with those beautiful light trails that comes from the car lights, that's also usually done with a low shutter speed. And then on the flip side, if you're a sports photographer or you're taking photos of action like boxing or hockey, basketball, typically you want to freeze motion there, so you want high shutter speeds like 1/250th of a second and higher. A good way to practice this is using shutter priority. Now, most cameras these days on the dial use S, but some cameras still use TV, where basically all you do is set the shutter speed and the camera takes care of the ISO and the aperture. And then when you get out to practice this, ask yourself, what is the image that I want? If you're taking a picture of a waterfall, for example, or you want to show some sort of motion blur, then chances are you're going to use a low shutter speed. But if you're going to take pictures of your kids running around, or even, again, action sports, you want to start with a higher shutter speed, something like 1/250th of a second. You want to try that and then work your way up. Now, everything we talked about today applies to photography. Now, with video, it's slightly different. Let's say you're shooting in 24 or 30 frames per second. The general rule is to double your frames per second. So you would set your shutter speed to 1/50th of a second for 24 frames per second and 1/60th of a second for 30 frames per second. So with video, you don't have a lot of flexibility with shutter speed. You're usually changing your aperture or ISO to, get that correct exposure. As always, if you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit the like button. Definitely helps the channel. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate if you do so. We're almost at our goal of 1K, and I would think by next month we'll be there, and that's all thanks to you guys. So until the next video, I'll see ya when I see ya.